Hey, it's Kyle, and my video today will be reviewing the book by Cormac McCarthy called The Road. You might have been hearing a lot about this book the last few weeks because a movie based on the book will be coming out on November the 25th, so it's starting to get a lot of publicity. One, I'll mention the movie. Go see the movie. It should be really good. It has a very strong cast. Let me read it here. Robert Duvall, Viggo Mortensen, Charlize Theron. So, those are very critically acclaimed actors, and then Cormac McCarthy's books in the past have been turned into great movies like All the Pretty Horses and No Country for Old Men, which of course won an Oscar. So The Road should be a great movie, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if it gets some Oscar buzz. So on November the 25th, I'd highly suggest go check out the movie The Road. It should be a great, great movie. I'm really looking forward to it. As for the book, before I start reviewing it, I will mention The Road has some very extreme scenes of violence in the book. I'd equate it to is if you've ever seen the movie Silence of the Lambs and that movie was too much for you, you couldn't really handle it, then The Road will probably be too much for you as well, and you might need to stay away from it. I'm not sure how the movie will be, if they'll tone down the violence in the movie, but the book has some very violent scenes, so just keep that in mind before you read it. The basic plot behind The Road is there's been some apocalyptic situation in the world. They never really explain it much, but something's happened that's basically doomed all life on Earth. Basically, life is going to end on Earth. It's just humans are trying to hang on as long as possible to stay alive as long as they can. They never explain what's happened too much, but the basic scenario is something's blocked out the sun almost. It's always real cloudy and foggy, so there's hardly any sunlight. It's very cold. Plants have stopped growing. Pretty much all the animals are dead. Society has collapsed. There's no governments anymore. It's complete chaos. So this is kind of the, like I said, there's a small number of humans still alive, and they're just basically trying to hang on as long as they can, but there doesn't really seem to be any hope of rebuilding society. So it is a little bit of a depressing read in that regard, but don't let that scare you away from you. Great read. The book follows a father and son as they're trying to make it in this world. The father and son are trying to get to the coast somewhere in the U.S. That's something that the book never really mentions where in the country they are. They're very vague. From the clues you can gather in the book, it sounds like they're somewhere in the southeastern part of the U.S., and they're crossing the Appalachian Mountains at one point, and it's best guess they're heading to the coast, maybe in South Carolina, North Carolina, maybe the Georgia coast. You never really can tell. It's kind of vague, and Cormac McCarthy's like that with a lot of aspects in this book. The characters don't have any names. The book, the story goes through the dad's viewpoint. So when he's referring to his son, he talks to his son, he just calls him his boy or his son. Of course, the son just calls him by his dad, so there's no names, so you don't have any character names, so that's kind of unique, but you really don't notice it when you're reading the book. In fact, I've heard some people that read the book, and they didn't really realize until after they read it, and somebody mentioned to them that the characters did have names, so you don't really notice it. Like I said, there's some extreme scenes of violence in here. Where that comes in, basically humanity is kind of divided into two camps. There's, I guess you could say, the good side of humanity, which the father and son fall into, which are trying to make it by just, scavenging food from like abandoned stores and abandoned houses, maybe abandoned farm fields, like, finding some produce that people just didn't know was there and it's kind of rotting and they eat it. So there's that side of humanity surviving that way. The other side of humanity has decided they're going to make it the easy way, and the largest supply of food left on the earth is obviously other people. So you got some cannibalism working in the book, and like I said, there's some extreme scenes of violence dealing with that. So if you think that's too much for you, probably steer clear of the book. But if you think you can handle it, read it. It's a great book. Like I said, if I had to, I guess, compare it to a movie, it would be like a rated R book. If they rated books, it'd probably be rated R because of the scenes of violence. But there are some very positive scenes in the book. Don't let me say it's just all negative, like doom and gloom. Some very little heartwarming scenes between the dad and the son as they're trying to make it in this world. I won't really go into much detail because they'll kind of ruin the scenes, but there are some very uplifting and positive and sometimes somewhat funny scenes in the book. Like I said, don't want to go too much detail because I'll ruin it, but The Road is very, very, very good. It's worth the read if you have the time. Read it before the movie comes out and then go check out the movie. I'll be very interested to see how they compare. I'm going to go see the movie once it comes out. So once it does, maybe leave your comments here and say, did you like the book better? Did you like the movie better? Were they the same? Did they change something you didn't like? But I'm very excited about the movie, and I think if you read the book, you'll be very excited about the movie as well. So I hope everybody has a chance to read The Road, and hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you in my next video.